first. Because if you don't hit record first, it won't record.
Record first, ask questions later.
That's right. And we're live.
There it is.
Hey, Becca,
Hey.
you got that McConaughey with you?
Oh, we're diving straight in, aren't we?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Well, you got to get the drinks going at the beginning.
I have the McConaughey. Mama's got the McConaughey tonight.
If you want to briefly describe why you have the McConaughey whiskey with you.
Well, I got in trouble. I'm just kidding.
Tell us about your punishment.
There was a bet about my creepy massage situation, and I lost. Or did I? But I lost.
We sound like a winner.
My payment for losing this bet is I have to drink 2 McConaughey's. So I have with me my beautiful dinosaur shot glass.
Shot glass? I thought it was going to be on the rocks.
He told me today when he brought it to me that I could take it as shots, but he suggested that I try to taste it, just like sip it first. So I'll do that. But
everybody should know Becca
wanna put it
really
on the
hates
rocks,
whiskey.
oh yeah, by the way, I fucking hate whiskey.
Yeah, like the smell of it makes her want to throw up.
Yeah.
Because when I was a teenager and I was just starting out having my party days, I'm just kidding, I was 19. And
That is still a teenager.
Technically,
But-
it's still correct.
but I didn't start doing anything till I was 18, 19. Anyway, I would drink Canadian Club whiskey straight out of the bottle, and that is why I cannot drink whiskey anymore, except for when I lose a bet. So I guess I'll sip it and see what it tastes like.
Smell it first. Tell us what
No,
you give us.
God, no.
Little sniff.
Smells like
Get it like a fine wine. From
Yeah, how's the
Kentucky.
nose hitting you?
it smells like nail polish remover, like most alcohols do. Smells really gross, like it usually does. I'm gonna take a little sip.
Little sip.
I don't-
That's flavor country right there. The sound of flavor.
All right, all right, all right.
Matthew McConaughey just started giggling somewhere.
It's like, I got you.
Wherever
Did you
he's
take the shot, or is that just from the sip?
That was just the sip, man.
Oh,
That's
geez.
spicy. It's burning all
I
the way
told you.
down my esophagus.
Matthew
I have-
McConaughey. He's somewhere like, I don't drink Matthew McConaughey because they pay me. I drink Matthew McConaughey because I like it. I like the way it drives.
Have you ever thought about drinking yourself?
I do it every day. Not because they pay me to, because I enjoy it.
All right, Becca. Now take that. Take your first shot there, Becca.
I'm trying to psych myself up for it. Doing this in front of all of our
You've been
millions.
psyching yourself at least half the week, and then today, because when I woke up today, I had a text that said you forgot the Matthew McConaughey.
I said I'm Matthew McConaughey-less, actually.
Is that what you said?
But I'm having to psych myself up because I'm doing this in front of our million live viewers.
How embarrassing.
It's funny.
So
It says there's no viewers on the
You'd
screen,
hate-
but I'm watching the stream.
You'd hate to vomit all over the webcam, wouldn't you?
That's my fear. It's not throwing up. It's just spitting it out. I've done that before
Oh.
with tequila.
That is not cheap
Do
whiskey.
you have a chaser?
I have this bottle of water. Well, it's got some tea in it,
Oh.
but okay.
Come on now.
Come on now, get.
Did you even finish that? She didn't even finish
The
that.
look on
You
her
don't want
face.
to exhale.
that
You want to
finished.
take that swig before you exhale.
Mm. Got the old whiskey on the inhale, huh?
Brad, do you have your taste test object?
No, it's in the other room.
Uh-oh.
I have one.
You better go grab it.
So, going on our wine discussion from last week, I brought currently my favorite wine just to show Steve-O.
Ooh, Behringer Bros.
Behringer Brothers.
Bourbon barrel aged. That means it sat in a barrel for a really long time.
Yeah, it sat in a bourbon barrel for a long time.
Oh, right. They once put. Okay, gotcha.
Right. It does not at all taste like bourbon, so don't think that.
Really?
But yeah, but it is really amazing. It's like a $15 wine, which is actually a little more expensive than I usually buy with wine. I'm usually like a $10, $11 kind of bottle.
Yeah. I
But this
recognize
shit-
that sound from the other night. We were playing
Really good.
Rocket League, and we hear glug 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 glug
Yeah.
glug glug.
That was a cheaper Spanish wine.
Becca,
Tonight,
you're muted.
tonight is this is a California. It's a it's a red blend, so it's different grapes blended together. But
Like
This is-
Concord and other
And
grapes.
other grapes.
Concord.
White grapes.
The purple kind, even.
Seedless.
So I got a something to taste test from the NASA Social goodie bag. They gave us these goodie bags with shit in it. None of it had anything to do with SpaceX either. It was all like the SLS rocket. But anyway, we got some space ice cream.
Oh, cool.
Of course, it's
Ice cream
backwards on
sandwich.
the stream. Yeah, ice cream sandwich, and check it out. I got to be careful because this is like falling apart. Brad, hold yours up. Yours is holding together better.
Yo, I got an ice cream sandwich in this house.
Do you have one? Like
I did.
a real one or a space one?
A space one.
Go get it.
Hey,
All right, I'll be
Steve-O,
right back.
it's not flipped to us.
hmm
Your
Well,
camera.
here, I'll
to
flip
you
the,
guys.
sandwich over.
To
Let's
you
just see
guys,
it a
but
little
on the
better.
stream because I'm streaming, my screen.
screen. Oh, right.
If anybody's watching, and
Right.
trying to read that, it's going to be backwards.
Okay.
Just wiggling candy at people on the internet.
So
But-
Brad,
Nothing
you've got
weird.
the same thing with
Yeah,
you?
I just broke it in half,
Yeah,
gave him
okay.
some.
Yeah.
But here's a funny tidbit. I laid it down on the table on a napkin, and Brad's like, "Well, don't you want to go put that in the freezer?" Yeah, he didn't know
It
they
said
were.
ice cream sandwich in the name, and silly me concluded it was actually made of ice cream.
So, but that led me to believe Brad's never tried it. So at least we have a space ice cream noob. I've had it. It's been years. It's probably
I've
been
had
10,
it too.
15 years, but I've had it
Yeah.
before. But at least we have a first timer amongst us.
I had it when I was a little kid. I went to space camp.
You went to
It's
space
better.
camp?
I did not the full space camp. It was more like the day long kind of thing they used to do,
Oh, okay, yeah.
like for
Space
school trip.
daycare.
Yeah.
What
Space
an
Station.
odd coincidence.
It's the exact
Oh,
same.
shit.
Oh no, it's not. It's the exact same.
It's not
Mountain
branded
House.
NASA.
Mountain House ice cream. Where's
Oh,
Dave?
Space.
I've got some other stuff from the space thing. There was just regular ice cream, and I don't know. I bought a bunch and put them in the stockings for Christmas.
That's
Well,
adorable.
I broke off like the chocolate, like the bread part of the sandwich, and it just tastes like a dried. Like it actually, I didn't think it was gonna taste like it was actually an ice cream sandwich that had been dehydrated, But that is exact.
That is what it tastes like.
I don't think that's
I mean-
what it is though. I thought it was like all like fucking synthetic or something.
This is gonna be a motherfucking mess, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
look
really-
look at this thing. Like it weighs nothing, even though candy doesn't really weigh anything. But when you pick up M&Ms, you feel it. This feels.
When
it
you
looks
pick up M&Ms, you feel it.
Ever felt an M&M when you picked it up?
It's got
Yeah,
that M&M heft to it,
It feels fake. Like this isn't real. Like you're not supposed to eat it. Like it's just supposed to sit there.
It's
Like how
yeah.
people have fake fruit in their kitchen.
Yeah, it's an ornamental ice cream sandwich.
Yeah. You
Well,
could
try it,
stick.
Brad. Try it.
You could stick this in a basket of
try
fake
it.
fruit. All right.
It's a sign that you're it's a sign that
Alright.
you're plentiful. You have plenty of stock.
I better get out of the mic. Hang on.
Oh no, do it right into the mic.
Thank God. No, somebody's
want-
got manners.
Hear that horrible crunch?
No.
ASMR. Get all up in it.
Please
Mm,
don't.
Yeah.
you like that, don't
ASMR.
you?
You do that every time.
How many times? I was gonna say how many times do I have to say ASMR and Steve will go ASMR.
That's the third time you've
Is
done
it
that.
really?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to remember what it means. ASMR.
Hey, this ain't bad.
No, it's actually
Yeah,
not.
it's really not that bad.
ASMR. That's like where Russian girls eat fried chicken into the microphone.
I
Oh,
wish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, the auditory.
This sounds like
thing.
like an obscure porn title. Russian girl eats bucket of chicken in the microphone.
Oh no!
That's
really
ASMR.
falling apart now.
Someone's gonna click on it.
So what is it? What is it like? Does it just sort of dissolve when you bite it? Is that that's what I
It's-
read.
It's like they made a cookie, but they had 2 batches of different colors, but it just tastes the same. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't taste like there's a distinction between the chocolate part and the ice cream part with air quotations.
It
I don't know if you.
it doesn't taste too bad.
They definitely feel different. Like the cookie part feels like a cookie.
I mean,
And
what's the
then
texture like? What
And
isn't
then
it?
it is. It's like, it's not like what I remember. What I remember was more like you were like this is all like porous, right? And I remember it being like a solid, like a piece of chalk or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit! But it also wasn't an ice cream sandwich. It was ice cream. It was like Neapolitan ice cream, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's airy, and yeah, you're right. Whenever you you just set it on your tongue and press it against the roof of your mouth, it does dissolve. It just
Right. Okay.
goes
Yeah.
to nothing.
But
That's
it's
what I-
actually quite tasty.
It is, yeah.
It's
I do
quite
wish it was
tasty.
cold. I wish it was an actual ice cream sandwich now.
Yeah.
I mean, it tastes. I mean, you could describe it as almost dry cereal.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
Becca,
and-
do you know you're muted again?
Yes.
Okay. We've never started with such a casual snack time before.
Casual snack time is pretty cool.
You guys like chips and salsa though, right?
Love it.
Ooh.
So I was really proud. Our hometown, tiny little Maryville, Tennessee, was in national news.
Oh, really?
Steve-O, pull up that, not the YouTube video, but the article.
Yeah, I got you.
So there's a picture of this dirt
Whoa.
bag. This guy looks familiar to me. Do any of you guys know this guy? Howard Webb, age 31. So here's the article. This is Fox News. Tennessee man accused of dipping testicles in customer's salsa.
I've seen this already.
Tennessee
Yeah.
man is accused of dipping something other
Oh.
than chips into a customer's salsa.
We've got a video.
There is a video of the actual crime.
Yes.
Howard Webb, 31, was a driver for Dinner Delivered, a food delivery service, on January 12th when he
Huh?
allegedly put his testicles in an order of salsa that a
He
customer had
actually-
ordered from a Mexican restaurant in Maryville.
He actually wasn't the driver. He was the passenger. Wasn't even working for the company. The
Okay.
person that was driving was a girl, and she's working for a company.
Oh, I see.
And they had previously delivered to this location, which was far away, and they'd only tipped 89 cents. So
Play the video, Steve.
Yeah, I'm waiting on a ad.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that part.
Yeah, it's a 15-second ad that you can't skip.
I'm
There we
really
go.
happy.
it's the
Finally-
deal boss.
It's tip for an almost 30-minute drive.
And he is
It's,
inserting testicles into the salsa.
No, he's just getting the lid
This
off
is what
there.
you get when you give an 89 cents tip for an almost 30-minute drive.
Oh man! Oh wait, here, let's blow that up.
Feels cold on his balls. He said.
In the transcript or whatever, it said, like it quoted him right underneath it. It said, "It feels good on my balls."
Oh,
Yeah, he did say that.
Wait, shouldn't it like make them burn?
I mean, it's probably the mild salsa, even the hot salsa.
He
there.
made later. That's not recorded. Shit,
you-
man, I gotta go wash my nuts off. This stuff's burning.
Really? If it was on your hand or
don't
your
know.
arm, would it be burning you?
I'm
No.
certainly
But
not gonna put
if
my
you-
junk anywhere near
Your
hot
balls,
sauce or
no.
anything.
If it was
It's more your
super
dick,
hot,
yeah.
if
Your
you
balls, no.
yeah, if you stuck your dick down in it, and you got
Oh.
that up in your dick hole, like you were sounding with some salsa.
Oh man, stop.
Put a
Sounding
straw.
with salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get like one of those little coffee straws. I mean, you don't want to expand your pee hole too much. You get one of those
Oh.
coffee stirrers. You know, you stick that down in there. You
Yeah,
have to figure out a way to like form a suction though, like a what's the fucking a
Make it
siphon.
stop.
You got to make a siphon somehow.
No, I
Oh,
don't.
that's-
That's the best thing. I don't have to know how to do that.
That's right. Amen, Brad. Amen.
Try to keep my balls where they.
They
out
just
of
need to be
don't
where they
belong.
are.
But yes, Becca, to answer your question, if you touch hot things and then touch your wee wee, it burns.
I like this. It says dinner delivered addressed the video on Facebook, writing that the driver web was with what this is terribly written, was with a rogue independent contractor.
A rogue. Yep.
Yeah, that's the unidentified food delivery driver engaged in criminal behavior that has resulted in indecent acts performed to customer orders, as well as unverified claims of inserting poisonous substances inside customer drinks.
It's a
That's something else.
It's a $45,000 fine and up to 3-5 years imprisonment. It's a Class C felony.
To fuck with
Should
food.
be.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you ever see the video of the bar? It's like there's a security camera up top, and it's like looking down a bar, and there's these girls ordering drinks, and this bartender just hates these chicks. They're just, I don't know if they're being bitches or whatever, but he's standing right in front of them. He turns around, he's making martinis, and he whips out his dick. His back is right there, and he stirs a drink with his dick.
It's a secret ingredient.
A little extra salty. With the
It's
right.
Dick, but man,
A little salt on the rim.
Something special about this martini. I don't know what it is. It's so good.
How do you do that?
Hey, Becca, you know what that calls for?
Oh no.
One more McConaughey.
I'm gonna stir it with my dick.
Oh, so did you finish all the first one, or are you just adding to
You
your?
just throw it out.
Mostly.
Throw it behind her
There was
shoulder.
a tiny little like puddle.
Okay.
She gave
We'll
you
let-
that.
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
Yeah, I threw it under the table and Bowie, my cat, licked it up. All right. I've got my chaser. I've got my shot. I don't want to do this again, but
Cheers.
oh fuck, cheers.
Drink before you exhale. There you go. There you go. Get that down. There you go. Wash it. Oh yeah.
Seems like she dealt with that better.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. See, now she's feeling it.
Because she stirred it with her dick.
Now she's got a little McConaughey in her, and she's feeling good.
Yep.
Steve-O, I sent the other thing I sent you.
Yeah.
Let's watch that video.
Oh jeez.
This is so the preview for this came out like a week or two ago, and this is the full Superman rap video.
Yes.
Serotonin.
Don't make me look at this.
What?
Is it too loud? Not loud enough.
I got a thing or two to say to you, so give this chick a minute. I'ma take the mic away from you. Ain't got a thing to prove while millions of people talking shit. Watching Tipping GameStop, bitch, straight off the shit. Intentionally misgendered once, you're gonna get corrected. Do it twice, I'm disrespected. 3 times and I get aggressive. But the 4th, you a sucker, be the 5th or summon demons.
This is that guy, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm fire breathing, cause the sis just isn't seeing how it feels when they attacking us. And most don't even see it when they beat us till they fracture us. Until we crack and bust the ash and dust, you fucking laugh at us. You bastards just continue coming after us just to damage us. But bitch, we fucking fabulous, ready to chop ahead of 3. And put it in the teeth and maliciously misgender you.
stop the platform, please.
Belly crawling vermin. One way or another, motherfucker, you'll all be learning.
Who wrote these rhymes? Actually, good. Like
I was
as
gonna.
far as rhymes is good.
Yeah, go ahead. Pause it. That's probably good.
That's good. Yeah, you're right. That's good.
That's actually what I was gonna. That's what I thought when I first heard it. I was like, I thought it was gonna be way worse.
Yeah. Like I mean, could it be that big of a coincidence? This guy or girl, I can't remember what we're supposed to call.
Yeah, I think you're
Oh, he'll
safe to
correct
say.
you.
Guy.
He
I
said
think
it.
it's safe to say guy
She
in
was.
this case.
Yeah, but what was the argument that he wants to be called
Transgender
she.
people are having a hard time. That's
Yeah,
what-
he wants
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
called she. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the message.
What are the chances that she is also a good rapper? You know, like she writes good lyrics and shit. You know, surely somebody wrote this, right? Somebody else.
What are the chances that was a
Okay.
publicity stunt before the album was being released or whatever?
That's a pretty good one. That's a
I
pretty
wasn't-
good one.
I wasn't
Maybe.
expecting it to actually be that person. I thought that it was going to be like
Like a
that-
parody.
ain't nobody got time for that
Yeah.
I mean,
situation.
there was They used the same clip of that video of somebody recording it from the same angle that we watched it from.
Well, right, but
Right.
all you gotta do
Well,
is
anybody could use that clip.
Yeah, you
Right,
Can,
that's
you can
true.
download videos off YouTube.
But I mean, I don't know.
You
Just
might have been
seems
watching
awful-
too much of that Alex
Cool.
Jones
You
interview.
could be
Dave.
right. I mean,
Seems
but
awful
it's
coincidental.
really, well, it just to me, like,
It's like-
I would never think of anything like that because you could make a video in a game.
The dude was already a rapper. He was already a rapper. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's smart in the fact that he called it Superman. So there was a meme that came out we saw with where somebody photoshopped him look like Superman.
Right.
Superman. And he actually used the meme to his advantage. It's actually pretty smart.
I think Dave's right. I think this.
I don't
Could have created the
I don't think
meme
it's that.
himself too. Just like you can pull the video down, he could have. I mean,
It's
I mean-
possible, but I don't think so.
his manager, his PR guys, his social guy or girl or whomever, it could have all been orchestrated easy peasy.
And maybe even the GameStop people were in on it. Isn't that where?
No, that little kid was
I don't know about
terrified.
that. Yeah,
That
he
kid
was peeing
terrified.
himself.
Yeah. He was feeling direct physical threat.
The Cash Me Outside girl apparently recorded some songs too. Dr. Phil was on Rogan the other day, and I listened to some of it, and they got to talking about her, and of course, he's like, man, when that happened in the studio, like we just kept going, and it didn't seem like anything. It just seemed like a silly thing that girl had said, and and then afterwards, she gets like a $1 million deal. They make her some songs and.
She deserves it.
Yeah, she deserves it for all her hard work.
Yeah, she really does.
Anybody
Proud of
can
her.
be famous. Just show your ass.
The hoes be laughing. Yup.
Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka.
What Dave?
What's that?
I don't.
Girls be laughing.
Them Not what I.
That's how the girls sound.
Not what I
That's what those
said.
girls sound like.
That's how you laugh.
Quoting a lyric.
It's like in Spanish, if you don't spell it out H-A-H-A, it's J-A-J-A. So
Yeah.
in girl, it's ka-ka-ka-ka-ka. In the girl language.
That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You're
whenever no
absolutely
guys
right.
are around, the girls are always like. That's why they're going to the bathroom together, and they go in there. As soon
They
as the
let it
door
all
shuts
out
behind
at
them,
once.
like, ka-ka-ka-ka-ka.
How'd
Did
you
see
fucking
that?
crack our code?
I mean, they're all a bunch of hens in there cackling.
Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka-ka.
This is ridiculous. I'm gonna have to have a meeting. We're gonna have to come up with a new
You're
laugh.
not included because you can stir McConaughey with your penis.
True.
Wow.
I
Never thought of it that way now, did you?
I identify as included
Oh, okay.
in all things.
Like you weren't allowed on the kickball team, and you're like, "Excuse me, I identify as included.
That's right.
I'm on your team, and I'm kicking first."
I identify as being first picked.
Did you see this guy? There's this guy from the UK. His name is Zuby, Z-U-B-Y. He's a rapper also, and he posted a video on Twitter, and he was like, everybody's saying that if you identify as a woman, you can beat a man, kind of thing. And he's like, watch me, a regular dude just now beat the women's world record in a deadlift.
Yeah. Okay. So
And he did a much heavier deadlift, and then people were complaining that he didn't lock out his legs properly.
He said, okay,
That is what they
I
do.
keep hearing about how biological men don't have any physical strength advantage over women in 2019. So watch me destroy the British women's deadlift record without trying. P.S. I identified as a woman whilst lifting the weight. Don't be a bitch.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great. Oh shit! There's water. Or there's audio. Yeah.
And then he upped the weight and did it again because people were saying he didn't lock out his legs properly. So he
he
did the
just
second time with more weight.
Was that the second time?
And then today he did the bench press. He beat the bench press record, women's record,
Yep.
for reps.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just took the UK women's bench press record too for reps. Strong,
for him.
stunning, and brave.
I hope he gets the plaque.
This is where, did you see it ties right into, I think it was in Connecticut in high school. They had 2 trans students, that were boys that had transitioned to girls. They took the top 2 spots in if it was like the state running, one of the running, championships, like whatever dash. They took the top two places. So you basically have guys now entering the female sports and just fucking destroying, and all these girls have to like act like they're like, oh, okay, they're all inclusive, and they're just getting murdered.
Rogan used to talk about some MMA fighter who transitioned from male to female, and then he started fucking bitches up.
Yeah.
But they stopped that, didn't they?
I don't recall.
They might have, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
It wouldn't have been a bad idea to.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. That's not really a political thing, man. It's
That's more of a loophole than anything.
Yeah.
Loophole you can't get mad at it.
Yeah, when it comes to physical feats, you just can't get around it. I don't know if they can affect that with hormones. I don't think so, but there's just no way around it. If you're born a man, then you've got the parts to be stronger.
You can affect it with artificial hormones to some degree, but it's still like you've already grown up with denser bone structure. It's just different. Your bones are denser. You have more muscle already. It's just.
It's hard to do it nowadays that they've got all these hormone-free chickens.
You used to be able to just go to the store and get you a Tyson.
Yeah, just hoe down on a bunch of chickens and get some boobies early.
Hoe down on a bunch of chickens and get some boobies early.
I think we have a title.
Yep.
Hoe down on some chicken. Can we include the boobies part? Or we're gonna get it taken down if we include.
I don't know.
We can just do the hoe down on some chicken. Hoe down.
I think maybe you meant chow down, but
no, he meant hoe
I'd like
down.
to think he didn't.
Southern chicken.
Hoe down on some chicken. And catch you on the sloppy side.
Maybe I did mean chow down.
Catch you on the sloppy side.
Jump up on your Buffy cookies.
Oh man, something was in that ice cream sandwich.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Steve-O, I heard we had some voicemails.
Yes, thank you. Let me get that covered up.
I think we found out too that 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I think, was the length of a voicemail.
I thought that was how long it took to hoe down on some chicken.
Looks like 3.
It depends on if you're speed eating or not, Brad.
So we got 3, and he texted me and told me that there were 3 because it kept cutting them off. But then he said that all 3 are legit. So I thought that I was going to be playing all 3 of them in a row, but 2 of them start with, "Hey guys, it's Jerry."
Maybe he said that again.
I think he did 2 subjects, and then one of them runs into the next one. He continues.
Oh, look, I have a slider now where I can control where it is. Because before I just had a play button. I couldn't control, I couldn't just step back like a couple seconds, Anyway.
Oh God, it's archaic.
Yeah, I know. I still don't have volume control though, so here we go.
Hey guys, it's Jerry. You guys are talking about people proselytizing to you, trying to convert you while you're at work. And a funny thing happened to me tonight, actually. I kind of the opposite. I delivered to the lady, and she said, "Are you a churchgoer?" I kind of looked at her, and I said, "No." She goes, "Okay, well, here's this." And she handed me a wooden nickel from Shooter's Bar that's good for a beer. And she said, "I hope you enjoy that. And sorry, I couldn't give you anything else." But I thought it was pretty funny that if I would have said, "Yes, I am a churchgoer," she probably would not have given me this wood nickel. So had a little bit of reverse proselytation, I guess. See you later.
Of course, Google translated that to say he had a little bit of reverse prostitution. That's
Sort
What do you mean I'm going to jail?
Maybe when the guy said that Jesus loves me, I should have been like, yes, I know.
But
He's
does
in
he
my heart.
love me?
So that just means if he'd have been a churchgoer, she just would have given him nothing.
That's right.
That's what it sounds like.
She would have said, "Praise Becca, you're muted."
How dare you?
She would have said, Becca, you're muted.
I wish
Get
you
the
guys
hell
would
off my
tell me.
porch.
I wish you guys would tell me when I'm muted all the time.
Okay, we'll try to do better.
If he had said he was a churchgoer, she probably would have given him a chick track.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
She had two options: the wooden nickel or the chick track.
Chick track. Chick
And
track.
Jerry chose correctly.
If
Good
I
job,
could
Jerry.
take some chick tracks to shooters, I would have a good time.
I'm sure they have one for alcoholism. They have one for fucking everything. Here we go. Here we go, Jerry again.
Hey guys, Jerry again. So you guys were talking about hunting and wildlife and all that, and as Nathan said, he wanted to hear from me. I do have a few comments on that. Nathan had it exactly right. When you're out in the woods, you're just sitting there. It's a completely surreal experience when animals don't even know you're there. When I was a kid hunting in Oregon, there's a lot of times I'd be just sitting there, and the animals that you see and their interactions with each other, it's hard to describe. You're seeing nature how it should be. There's a lot of times now, when I've been turkey hunting especially, when I'll just sit there and watch the animals do their thing. It's amazing. Watching a tom, a male turkey, strutting and gobbling and spitting and puffing his chest out and putting his feathers up, and his head's turning all these different colors because he's mad, and then he's okay, and then he gets mad again because there's other toms around, and there's a hen over there who's just strutting her stuff, trying to tell people that the other turkeys that she's interested. I've let turkeys just walk past me without shooting them because a lot of times I just want to go and watch what they're doing. Same thing when I'm goose hunting. I'll do all the work, put the decoys out, call the geese in, and just watch them work. Watch them flip over, trying to lose altitude, so they can come and land in with the decoys or in the field or in the water, and just sit there and watch them. Hunting is not necessarily about killing. It is good to have the meat, and it's fun to actually harvest an animal, but that's not what it's all about. It's about going out and watching animals do what they do, and you can only experience that if you go into the woods or into in the water and let the animals be how they're going to be. Hunting is the biggest conservation effort in the world. The money that hunters contribute directly leads to more habitat development, to research on wildlife activities, wildlife habits. So, as I was saying before that Google bitch rudely cut me off, hunters contribute so much money and their time and effort that the only way that wildlife manages to survive is through direct efforts and direct money of hunters. It's the same here in the United States, overseas, everywhere. Hunters want animals to thrive and succeed, because if they weren't, and if the animals did not thrive and succeed, then hunters would be out of sport. There'd be nothing to do. There wouldn't be animals to hunt. So hunters want the animals to thrive. We want them to succeed. Same thing goes true for the people who are fortunate enough to sport hunt in Africa. It is very controversial, but the thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars that they pay for the privilege of taking an animal that has no direct benefit to that society far outweighs that animal's life. That's harsh to say, but the natives and the local economy greatly benefit from the actions of that hunter. Money, meat, making the population healthier, it's good overall. And one last thing, Brad, you need to shut the fuck up and let other people talk every once in a while.
He said it, Brad.
Let somebody else talk. Quit talking over everybody else. All right, see you guys.
Brad missed that.
Oh,
He
it's
missed
so
that.
perfect.
He
Hey, back it
completely
up.
missed it.
Back it up. Just to the...
He completely missed it. He got up.
It's
he
good
left.
overall. And one last thing, Brad, you need to shut the fuck up and let other people talk every once in a while. It's not the Brad podcast. Let somebody else talk.
Damn.
Quit talking over
Damn.
everybody else. All right, see you guys.
At least when I talk, it's not entertaining.
Don't listen to him, Brad. Don't listen
Yeah,
to
don't
him.
listen.
I got up and left and blew
Right
my
when it,
nose.
right before he said that.
Right before he said that, man.
I'd had enough.
So if you heard me kind of laughing while he was talking there, there's a part in here that Google transcribed. He said hunters want all the animals to succeed. It transcribed hunters want animals to drive at 16.
Google is awesome, man.
She's
The
on it, man.
translations are the
They're
best.
so good. I was trying to think of a way to like have this part be visible, but not all the phone numbers over here.
And we
Wow.
think Google's going to take over the world.
Right.
I was laughing because when he was talking about the Tom Turkey strutting around, it sounded like he was about to cry.
It
He
was
was-
so fucking cute.
Yeah.
I thought he
Yeah.
was going to just break
I felt
down.
the emotion. I put myself there. I was like, man, I could just sitting there, sitting there.
I was wanting to make a joke about turkey porn.
Yeah.
But
That's
he's
not
right.
a joke.
It
It's not
is.
a joke.
It is really cool to watch. To watch the fucking the gobbler is. I mean, I think a tom. No, a tom is all male turkeys, and then I think a Jake is like a young one, and then the gobbler is the adult, and that's the one that struts around. But man, that's cool as shit. They fucking puff up. One time, one time I asked my dad when we were hunting, I was like, okay, so Dad, if you shoot a turkey that's strutting, with all of its feathers puffed out and everything, is like, do the feathers go down, or does it stay puffed up like that? He said, Steven, imagine you had a boner, and then someone shot you. You think you'd retain that boner?
Good.
Said,
That's
well
a
put,
good
good,
stuff,
well put,
man.
Well
It's a
put.
good
Well
dad.
put.
Yeah.
It's a dadism.
That's funny.
Jerry, watch the stream and watch how hard I was smiling the whole time you were talking, and that is how you will know how fucking cute all of that
Watch the stream and then look at Brad's face right now.
Also, did you guys notice I took another shot during Jerry's voicemail?
No.
No.
Oh,
Did
shit.
you really?
I would
Wow.
have to if I had vodka with her.
She got McConaughey.
I did.
I don't know.
I want to know if while you're hunting for turkey, if you could eat like turkey. That would be kind of cool.
It's probably taboo.
Yeah, you might be right.
It's like taking a banana on a boat. Can't do that.
Did you know that? What? Help me out, Brad. What was the statistic that we were freaking out about earlier about the bananas? It's the most the most imported animal or plant exported fruit, or what was it?
It was about cargo ships. in shipping.
It's the most like no it was Walmart, like it was like they don't, their biggest seller isn't this and this, it's bananas. They make most of their money off of bananas, and we're like, who the fuck is buying all these fucking bananas?
That's right. It was like bananas are the most eaten fruit or something by far. And I'm like, who the fuck's eating all these bananas?
They said something about, you'd think that bread and butter would be their bread and butter, but no, it's bananas.
Walmart makes all their money off of bananas.
Off of goddamn bananas.
I kind of tuned out during that part. That didn't.
They're so easy to eat. You can carry them around.
That's why monkeys do it.
You can insert them in various orifices. They're very useful.
You could do that.
There was a video about watching ship freighters and the cargo ships and stuff like that, and this guy's just going ape shit over bananas.
Bananas, man. Fucking bananas everywhere.
Fucking bananas.
He's going bananas.
99% of all bananas are the cochina banana. If you buy a fucking banana, it's a cochina. Don't you forget it.
What a healthy statistic.
Yeah. Walmart makes all their money off of bananas.
All of it.
Change your name to Banana Mart.
Banana Man Mart.
If they're smart, that's what they'll do.
Banana Hammock Mart.
I wish if we could have planned this out, I would have, as soon as you said Walmart makes all their money from bananas, I would have like panned the camera over and I would have had all these Walmart bags just filled with bananas.
You're damn right they do. I'm keeping the lights on.
Say it like it's not too late to pan over. Just show all the bananas in your
Yeah, come on, let's see those bananas.
I don't eat fruit.
Falling out of Walmart bags.
I've only got one banana right now, and it's
put it on camera. What are you waiting for?
we were bugging Nathan about moving his dinosaur so it wasn't behind all the little thumbnail videos of all of us, and he said no, he just doesn't have the space. We know why now.
That's right.
Hey, Steve-O, did you get the GIF I sent you?
I did, and it was playing for like the first 10 minutes of the podcast.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Is it this one right here?
Yeah,
it's
too tiny.
Yeah, that's just the resolution it was.
Some ugly creatures.
But we've moved on to this guy that knows how to park his car.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, what's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. I didn't really do much this week because I was so excited for Steve-O. I'm so proud of him and what he's doing tonight and all that stuff, and him tweeting yesterday.
Yeah,
I've been proud.
I was gonna get to that, but I asked you about you.
Yeah,
not so you could ask about Steve-O.
You got back into streaming. I think you streamed a couple times this week, didn't you?
I streamed to show a mod, the Bruma mod on Skyrim, so I did do that. I've been playing that. It's really interesting, and I did one little bit, but I've just been growing the map because it is pretty big. They put a lot of work into it, and this is old news. It's been out since I want to say, I don't know, maybe 2017. I think is the release date. I mean, they're about to come out with another one, but I just think it's really cool. So I've been doing that. I haven't done anything spectacular. It's just been raining a lot. Sucks. Rain sucks.
But that means you don't have to mow.
Yeah, for the moment.
It's March.
It means it'll be harder to mow later.
Wait a minute. It means that you have a good excuse to not mow, because we know you're not going to mow, but it gives you an excuse to not mow.
Today, there's a good reason.
Yeah.
Well, I know I know I got to get it done. We got people coming in May, so I got some time.
People coming in May.
Clock's ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah. When are we going to have another party, Dave?
I'm thinking Mayish.
May. Oh, May.
Okay. About that May time.
Is that when y'all are coming in? Is that
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Joe's
Yep.
wedding.
All right.
Yeah, did we ever figure out what to do with an RSVP? I'm sure he knows we're coming.
He knows.
No, it's very important that you send it.
You can tell him now. You can tell him now he's listening.
Yes, he listens to the show every week,
Well,
and
Joe knows we're gonna be there.
Yes, and everybody's saying that, but from a wedding and a planning standpoint,
From the
really,
female standpoint,
they need the
usually want
card
that shit.
because they also want to be able to send a thank you card. It's an easy.
I'm saving her some work, man.
When do we send the money?
Yeah, whatever we got.
That- hey.
Apparently, text and instant communication saying yes, we are coming to your wedding 100%
That's the challenge.
isn't good enough for weddings.
That's the challenge, Joe. If you're listening, you have to call into the show and tell us when to send the money.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, we realized that today was the day it was supposed to be back.
Well, by the time he listens to this,
Can you should just send another text and say we are confirmed bachelors. We don't send reply.
we don't know how this all works.
When we got it,
know
yeah,
that
I said
give you a
something
gift
to
at some
Brad. I'm
point.
like, aren't we supposed to like send this back? And Brad's like, no, I don't know. And and then I got off on this thing like, oh, I might be thinking about like graduation invites, because I remember in high school, right before graduation, everybody's sending out all these invites, and I'm like, you guys fucking, what are you wasting your money on invites for? Like, to me, it was like, I don't have much family that could or would travel to see, so I'm like, why am I going to send out all these invites? And then a few weeks later, all my friends start getting envelopes full of cash. And I'm like, oh, that's why you send out graduation invites. And I
For them to say we're not coming to your graduation, but here's $150.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Wow, that's a thing.
Hope you're over it.
Yeah,
if only I'd graduated.
Yeah, me too. Fuck. What did I do?
I know.
Stay in school. That's how you make the money, kid.
Stay in school, kids.
There was a lot of money at the graduation. After graduation, that was cool.
Money was flying.
But yeah, you do need to respond s'il vous plaît.
Well,
or
he knows
something
that
like that.
he knows you're gonna be there, because when he invited me, he told me you guys were gonna be there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he knows.
he knows.
Good.
Is it
You all-
rude though? Like, do we need to go ahead and
Yes.
send it? Is it rude?
Yes, you
Joe,
need to
I hope
send
you
it.
know that we're not trying to be rude. We're dumb. And
You're
Stick to
ignorant.
your guns.
I said
Stick to
something.
your
I was
guns,
like,
Steve-O.
if Tiffany was still here, she would just take care of it. She would
Right.
know what to
Stick
do.
to your guns.
I
Should say, oh, I've already dealt with it.
yeah, she'd be like, yeah, I sent that fucking weeks ago.
Do we send money
with
now?
with a $100 bill.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No, if you're
By the way,
coming,
you owe me
should do
$33.
something.
33.
$33.
100 divided by 3.
No, you gotta bring some dopey
Matthew
house,
McConaughey's.
some dopey gifts, some fucking like
Gravy boat.
yeah, gravy boat, fucking deep fryer.
Blender.
No, Brad just,
Yeah, just get him an air deep
I
fryer.
was gonna say,
Panini
just
press.
throw your air fryer in the box and let's go.
Well,
I'm
they
keeping
they
that
may
one.
have a register. They may have a register where you can log in or something.
What's nice is that's one of those situations where it's just not logistically logical to go ahead and buy a gift now, because then we'd have to carry it on the plane. So we have
Sure.
to put it off. And knowing me, we'll be
Just
walking
buy
through
it
the
now
doors
and
at
ship
the
it to Becca's house.
we'll be walking through the door at the wedding and be like, "Fuck, we forgot a gift."
I will make sure that doesn't
How much
happen.
cash you got on you?
Yeah.
I will take care of you.
There's $3.50 and some pocket lint.
Yeah.
Here's
Head
a
to
half a
Walmart.
pack of cigarettes.
When you
Here's
get
a
in town,
half-used
head to
bottle of
Walmart,
vape juice.
get some bananas.
Keep their lights on.
Half a fifth of Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. we're
I think
giving
I'll
him
have
a-
another
Here's
shot.
some bananas and whiskey.
Becca really is
Congratulations.
gonna drink all of my McConaughey.
Oh, can I?
This is-
Am I allowed to?
If you want to.
Try and stop her.
She's on a roll
Thumbs
now.
up.
Look at that. This is like number 4. Wow.
See, she's not drinking McConaughey because she lost a bet.
She's
Drinking it because she enjoys it. She likes the way it drives.
It burns.
She never used to do this when I wanted her to.
She's crazy.
She's wild. Thrown up on the beach, drinking Matthew McConaughey,
Yelling at the sand.
screaming at the sand.
What's up, Brad?
Not much. Been working. Been playing Apex Legends. That's pretty fun.
I've heard the name. I don't know what that is.
Pretend PUBG and Overwatch had a baby.
Okay.
I like it. I like his
First-person
assessment.
shooter.
Yeah, first person shooter, fun,
Okay.
lots of shit to pick up, people
Battle
to
Royale,
shoot.
obviously, but in case it
Not a-
wasn't obvious.
Pain in the ass to get around the map. You can climb on about anything. No fall damage. It's nice.
Yeah, I
So
thought
it's
that
very
was nice.
Borderlands-like.
No fall damage. That's pretty big.
Yeah, you can jump off mountains and not give a fuck.
You playing
I
this on
downloaded it.
console?
Yeah, it's actually it runs smoothly on console. It doesn't look like the garbage mountain that PUBG looked like on Xbox.
It looks like a real game. I haven't played it. I've only watched Brad play it, but it's got some cool power ups and stuff. You know, like you hit a thing, and then this pulse goes out from you, and then you can see enemies that are around you through the walls for just a split second, and then like you can kind of like quick chat in Rocket League or something. You can like kind of like target things.
You can
like,
ping stuff, like
yeah.
you can say there's ammo over here, there's guns over here, you see an enemy, or let's go this way, and shit like that. All from one button. It's pretty smart.
And graphically, it looks like it's not like PUBG where it all looked like shit.
60 frames a second
it
all the
looks-
time.
Looks really good.
Oh, really? And you playing it on console, Brad?
Yeah, on Xbox One.
Because I
Yeah,
have it
that's
downloaded on
surprising.
Xbox One.
Yeah, definitely play it.
and
it's
it's
worth
all it's all 3-man teams, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all, well, unless you just happen to be one of the 4 saps in the end of the match when the matchmaking's done.
And then the jumping
Trump.
the jump mechanic, like the jumping out of the plane. You jump as a squad, and then you
Yeah,
have
you
the
jump-
option. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can split off towards the end, and then that way you can go for different loot as opposed to everybody going for the same loot box.
Yeah, because everybody
It's smart.
stays with one leader. Like it assigns a jump. What is it? Jump leader.
Jump master.
Jump master.
Yeah, and you can pass it on, and even if you're not the jump master, you can suggest where you want to land, and then they can either go there or they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, so it keeps everybody from getting all way too spread out on the map and stuff if you're trying to play together.
Yeah, and when the circle's closing down too, something cool that they put in are there's these big balloons all across the map that you can also zip line up and down. So you zip line up to the top of a balloon, and then you get kind of like a mini jump where you can get into the circle really fast.
Oh.
So it's not a lot of dying outside the circle because you had to run for an hour and a half like PUBG was. And I never played Fortnite, so I can't make any correlations with that.
You don't have to build houses and shit.
No,
Right,
you don't
yeah.
build shit.
Sounds
That's
fun.
good.
Yeah,
All the
maybe they'll have
characters are balanced.
crossplay.
They're putting crossplay in. They
There
did
you go.
confirm that they're going to put that in soon.
We tried crossplay on Rocket League. It works really well. It doesn't have voice chat, but the gameplay actually works well.
That's good.
Have you tried using the Xbox app on your phone? and
That's
just
what we
using-
did.
Oh, okay.
That's what we did.
Yeah, it worked. I always noticed that they had that party tab on the Xbox app, but I never tried to get into a party to actually see if it worked or anything. But it worked perfectly. It was great.
I've used it before because you can, if I'm on my way home or something and I see 2 people playing something, you jump in the chat and go, "Hey, how long are you gonna be playing?"
Oh, okay.
I'm on my way home,
Yeah.
and they'll go, "Oh, yeah, sure." You can even stay in the party while you drive home if you're willing to use the data.
Yeah.
So, Steve-O, you've had a big week this week.
One of the biggest. I mean, okay, so yesterday, they brought us in and they took us into, see if I can remember the name. It's the Neil Armstrong Operations and Checkout Building. And we were just in this like conference room, really the whole day, and just kind of listened to speakers. I ended up on NASA TV. I got to ask 2 questions, and that was really cool. And they were good questions, and I've gotten a lot of feedback on Twitter of people saying great questions. Like there were a lot of there's a lot of people. NASA wants to get people that aren't necessarily into space like hardcore. So a lot of people were asking more like human type questions, like what would you tell children, that are interested, how do you inspire kids to, whatever. And those were
They're like Alex Jones says that NASA's part of a breakaway government controlled by alien entities.
Right.
Could you speak to that, sir?
So what what I asked was more like those of us that are plugged in. These are things we want to know. Like the one question I asked was when it comes to the in-flight abort test, which is it comes after this one that we're doing. It'll be like in a month or two, where they're going to fly the Dragon on top of the Falcon 9 rocket up into what's called max Q, which is the maximum aerodynamic pressure, where they're going at they're at a speed and an atmosphere thickness where it becomes the thickest part of the atmosphere. It's the most stressful part on the rocket, and then they're going to abort. They're going to trigger the abort off of the rocket, make sure that the capsule can safely get astronauts off. So my question was, are you going to use the flight termination system to blow up the rocket, hence triggering the abort? Every rocket has a flight termination system. This is in case it goes off course or something and they need to hit a button to make it blow up. Or are you going to just abort the Dragon off of the rocket and just see what happens? And if so, will there be a chance of recovery? And that's one of these questions that a lot of the people that are into this stuff want to know, because we want to know, are we definitely going to see an explosion in the sky? And if they're not going to blow it up, like manually, it'd be cool to know that they were going to try to catch it, try to land it on the drone ship. And he kind of,
I didn't really understand his answer.
Right.
I listened to it. I was like, what? Okay, what did he say?
Yeah, and I kind of like at the end of the question, I'm like, will there be legs and grid fins? Because that would kind of tell us is that they're going to actually try to recover it. His answer was kind of vague. I think being that he's the SpaceX representative of that event, I think he was just trying to express that the focus will be on the safety of the crew and making sure that the abort system works. And so he didn't really answer for sure. It doesn't sound like they're going to blow it up on purpose,
But he did say they want to. Their goal is to capture everything, to not waste anything. So that would say that was what they would want to do.
It would see. But then later on, somebody got in the discussion and said that that they thought that they had read something in the press kit. Like they always put out a press kit to describe the mission and then go into detail about whatever they feel the need to. And there is a part in there about the in-flight abort test about how it's not going to have legs and grid fins. So if that stays the case, then that means that they're not going to attempt to land it at all. So that was cool. And then the other question was, because me and a bunch of other people like to kind of keep track of what's going on at the port with all the SpaceX boats out there, and what they're doing. I asked, once we do fly astronauts, how long will it take from splashdown to get back to Port Canaveral? And the answer was, well, their target is to land within 24 miles of the coast, which I think is like crazy. That seems like really, really close. But it'll only take them a couple hours to get back. So that means that we're going to have some pretty good photo opportunities. Hopefully we actually, see the astronauts getting off the boat and everything.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me then, what's the schedule like? What launches are they doing? And then when is hopefully the actual crewed launch going to be? Because that's the one we're trying to go to, right?
Right now, it's tentatively planned for July. Realistically, July is probably not going to happen. When you ask them, several like reporters and stuff had asked them, and their mantra seems to be by the end of the year. So it's a very vague, very vague. And
is there a launch before that though?
Just the in-flight abort test. It's this one, and then the in-flight abort test, and then crew is next. Okay. And at the same time, Boeing is trying to get their stuff ready, and they're going to have a demonstration flight just like this one that's coming up with the capsule on top, no crew on board, censored up and everything to make see what like the G-forces and stuff like that are. And they'll go through the same thing, except they don't have to do an in-flight abort test. The only reason SpaceX has to do this in-flight abort test is because when they were first spelling out their plan for getting ready for this, that was just something SpaceX decided to put in there. Like a lot of the milestones in there, each company kind of set for themselves. And NASA had their own, I'm sure. but the in-flight abort test was something that SpaceX just volunteered for, basically, which I think is really important because hopefully you never get to see that system in use, but it sure is nice to know that it works, you know.
If something goes wrong, then the capsule goes off.
Right, pops off.
Yeah.
It becomes just the capsule and the trunk. Actually, I'll share the screen so you can see. I know you probably saw these photos. These are some photos that I took earlier today. We were out at the pad, Pad 39A, which is the same pad that they launched people to the moon and also launched most of the space shuttle missions from.
Steve-O, that looks so gorgeously.
I mean,
Shut
it's
up. You know what it was? I think it was an autocorrect thing because it also didn't say up, because I meant to say she looks so gorgeous up there, and I think maybe I didn't put a space in there or something, and iPhone thought that I was trying to say gorgeously. But anyway, you know, since you're looking at it, if there is an abort, it'll pop off with the capsule and this part down here. This is called the trunk. This also can hold payload, and anything that ever needs to go on the outside of the space station or is too big to fit through the hole, which is up here, it goes in the trunk, and then they use the Canadarm, which is built by Canada, and they grab it out of there and put it wherever it needs to go.
So how many people can fit in the tip, in the mushroom tip of the rocket? How many people can fit?
It's designed to be able to carry 7, but NASA has said that they're only going to use up to 4 seats. So, you know, it'll probably only ever carry up to 4, unless they do start getting into kind of the tourism game, and then millionaires and billionaires can.
The other seats are for extra ramen.
Yeah, they
Space
put the
ramen
seat in there and they just strap it in.
Everybody's favorite space food, ramen.
So I don't know. I know some of y'all will be awake, but I want to stress that this webcast for this launch might really be the one to watch. They've already said that, you know, they put a lot of effort into the upcoming webcast, and it's going to be really cool. They got cameras inside the capsule and one from Ripley's perspective. Like, I'm assuming it's inside her mask. By the way, the name of the mannequin inside the capsule is Ripley, and that is an Alien reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a girl, which I'm sure, you know.
Steve-O, that's a secret code that the aliens are sending us in NASA. They're throwing it in your face, Steve-O. They're throwing it in your face. They think you're stupid. They tell you right out in the open, and that's part of their satanic, Luciferian spell casting. The thing is that if they really want the power, they have to tell you about it up front. To get the real power, they have to tell you aliens.
Slow down, man. You're all over the place. You're all over the place.
Yeah,
now
take a
let me
breather,
make sure
man.
I know what you're saying.
Take a
They're
McConaughey.
killing the babies.
I'll take
They're
a McConaughey.
Babies, Dave.
I'll drink to that.
Murdering the babies.
Oh my god. Yeah. So today, I mean, clearly we got to go out to the pad. That was, to me, the coolest part of the whole thing. They showed us some really awesome stuff, but going out to 39A, actually being able to get out of the bus, that was just fucking awesome, because I've gone by it. You guys have gone by it on the tour, and it's really neat to be able to see it, but you got just like a half a second, and then like you really don't have much time, because as you get closer to the pad, you're also closer to the fence, and then the fence is in your shot, and you know, so you can't really get a good shot. But they let us get out, and we were able to kind of walk around and get our shots for like a half hour or so, and man, it was just cool. I got to use that big ass lens I rented, 600 millimeter. Ooh, it was so tight.
It's very powerful. Yeah,
So much power. And it actually made a few belches while we were there. I heard it. Do the rocket? I heard it go at one point, which is which unexpected to me, because you know, it's not fueled right now. It could just be that as it stands up there and it gets hotter outside, you know, the air expands inside the tanks, and it has to release it from time to time. But that's kind of cool. You know, it's like this is a live rocket. You know, this thing is taking care of itself right now. And they gave us a little tour of the of Veggie, which like a great reporter, I don't know what it stands for, but it's the lab where they're experimenting with the best ways to grow food in space. And the best way to get the most out of it. One of the people that spoke to us made the point that they have a control on the ground that's grown in normal situation, and they know what they can get. That's what a control is for anyone that doesn't know. In a scientific experiment, your control is the thing that you're doing that is known. Like if I put the lettuce seed in this kind of dirt and give it this much water and these nutrients, it will come out like this. And then we have the actual experiment, and they're trying to get it to match what the control is, but so far it doesn't come out quite as like plump, whatever, fruit or vegetable, whatever it is. It doesn't come out quite as good as the normal one, the control, but they're getting there. They've improved quite a bit, and this is all going to help. We talk about going to Mars and stuff. These are things that have to be tackled before we go anywhere. We have to figure out how to grow the food because you can't take it all with you. It's a lot easier to take a sack full of seeds than it is to take, 100 heads of lettuce.
I'd love to try some space lettuce. You know what I'm saying?
I was really hoping they would let us do that. I was hoping that
let us cook on the lettuce.
I wanted to eat some space lettuce.
Yeah.
Aw.
Eat some lettuce.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's see. We got to tour the VAB. We didn't get to go on the roof, but it was fucking awesome going inside there, man. It is just monstrous, and they say that it has its own weather inside. It can rain. There happened to be one of the NASA people nearby, and I was streaming, and my dad was commenting. I was talking to him, and I noticed he was standing there. I started asking him questions. We're just talking, and I was like, have you ever seen it rain in here? And he's like, well, no, I've never seen it rain in here, but I've been up to the top and seen like condensation forming on stuff, which I guess is the precursor to rain if it was going to rain. And they had the mobile launcher in one of the bays, and they were, I guess, constructing stuff, getting it ready to actually build the SLS rocket on top of it. So that was pretty cool. The hold down points. I think that's what they were. I was like, is that a hold down point right there? He's like, I think so, but I'm not 100%. But it was fucking 2 people tall. Just the part that just holds the rocket down. Each one is like fucking. It's like a bus. Just one of those things. Just everything is just huge, man. Everything is fucking huge. And after we left,
I was about to start another rant. Go ahead, Steve.
It was just kind of neat. They took us over to pad 39B, which was the other shuttle pad. They had 2 identical pads that the shuttle would launch from, except that the pad 39B has been stripped of the tower, right? And it's just they call it a clean pad. And they drove the fucking bus up onto the pad.
Oh my god!
On the fucking pad, man. Like looking down in the flame trench, like, oh man, what does all that shit do? They had these huge pipes, man. Like the fucking hole where the water came up was like this big, and that is flowing full of pressure. It's not like the water's just kind of dribbling out, it's like bam, it's fucking water. It's like a fucking stream. They had like 20 of those that would be pumping water out, because you need water, because if you didn't have water to dampen the sound vibrations, that's what it's for. It's a little bit for the heat to help cool the flame trench. But it's, I think when they first started doing it was for the Saturn V, because they realized that the acoustics could shake the rocket apart. So they started dumping water in the flame trench to absorb the sound waves. Yeah.
I was watching your time lapse of the guys like taking the lander, whatever the
legs
thing's
off
called.
of the rocket.
Yeah, taking the legs off, and I was just like, I was just watching all these people, and I'm like, look at all these like really competent, smart people. I feel like such a dumbass. Like,
Well,
it's like these people are doing crazy shit. They're basically wizards,
yeah.
and I'm like, hope I get the pizza here quick.
I hope they give me $5.
Oh,
I hope my dinosaur isn't hidden by the thumbnail videos.
Well, Steve-O, I think I speak for all of us when I say we are so proud of you
yeah, totally.
for
Absolutely.
for finally getting to get close up on your passion and be able to share it with other people.
He's getting way more attention on Twitter too. Just since I've been on Twitter, I'm seeing it. Like the impression you're getting is way bigger.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I've actually made a lot more Twitter friends during this whole thing than actual friends. Like, I've buddied up with a few people, but like some of them, their wife and kids are here, so when it's over, they're gonna go to them, or one guy lives over in Tampa, So it's like I've met some people and talked to people, got some advice on some things and all this kind of stuff, but not like friends. But on Twitter, it's been way more, like just kind of just chatting with people on there,
Mm-hmm.
Gained like 150 followers in the last week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, most of them.
That's
probably
really cool,
fall
man.
off. You kind of assume some of them will probably fall off. Right now there's a lot of excitement about this, and I am so surprised. I mean,
I don't know if anybody is a casual observer of this.
Yeah, I would agree
know what I
with
mean?
Nathan on that. If they're gonna follow, they're specifically following you for this, and they're not bots.
Yeah. Of course, we were at NASA all day, so of course they're all excited. But to watch the press briefing a week ago, and then to hear the NASA officials, and even fucking Jim Bridenstine was there. He's the NASA administrator. Came and talked to us, and they're all just so. It seems really different from what my impression has been up to now, where like it's kind of SpaceX versus NASA, the old way versus the new way. But they were all very clear in saying, that this has been a learning experience for them, but to be able to work, like this is NASA talking, to be able to work so closely with SpaceX and see the way they do things, and how they have their old way of doing it, but SpaceX is teaching them things at the same time as NASA's kind of helping walk them through this whole process. And they were really giving props to him. Some of the like Bill Gerstenmaier, he's you guys don't know who he is, but I've seen him on these press briefings all the time. He's one of the highest people in NASA, and hear him talk about
He's one of the high priest reptilian berserkers. They get out there, they put on their human flesh masks. They suck all the blood out of babies. They then take that DNA. They construct spacecraft out of the DNA
of the babies.
Hey,
of the
hang
babies.
on. Who are they? Who is
They?
they?
Well,
The reptilians.
Let me tell you, Dave. Back in 1942, during World War II,
They know who they are.
what I'm saying is Nazis went to a mountain, and on that mountain they found a saucer, and then they took DMT every day for hours, and they communicated with these entities, but they took so much of it they couldn't get high anymore. Is basically what I'm saying.
So what are the entities? I can't keep track.
It's basically the devil.
Incarnate.
So
Devil.
to communicate with them, they had to stop their hearts. They stopped their hearts for 5 minutes at a time, and then they would go into these altered states, and they would literally have conferences with them.
I believe you.
I believe the term is they.
I believe you.
I believe that's the plot to Flatliners.
Kiefer Sutherland was there.
That's right.
Yeah, Keith Sutherland was it?
Kiefer's he's a high priest in the Illuminati. High priest.
High priest. Yeah.
Where'd
Sorry.
you hear this?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Well, you know, I mean, I basically got it out, but I do want to, I do want to point out how it's being done now versus how it used to be done, because this is part of the Commercial Crew Program that NASA started when they knew that the space shuttle was going to be retired. So this has been going for like 8 or 9 years now, and so they have paid a fixed price to SpaceX to develop this, obviously with their help, and it was like $2.4 billion, right, to develop the system. Whereas before, what NASA would do is, since they were the only ones that really knew how to do this, they would design the rockets and spacecraft and everything, and then they would find a contractor like Boeing or Lockheed Martin or something and give them the plans and say, you build this exactly. And so you've got, you know, taxpayers are paying for the development time for NASA to do it, and then they're also paying for what's called a cost plus contract, where the contractor tells NASA how much this is going to cost, and even if they go over, NASA pays whatever it costs them to build this system, whatever it is, plus a percentage. So that's what the cost plus is. So say it's like, you know, they run up the tab and it's, you know, twice what they originally quoted. It doesn't matter. They're going to get like 10% on top of that. So it basically incentivizes.
That's a blood price. That's a blood price.
They incentivize them.
They pay that in infant blood.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
So that's the way it used to be done, and now it's going to be way cheaper because these companies own their own rocket. Because before, you know, if Boeing or Lockheed or anybody else but they built the stuff, NASA still owned it. Whereas now SpaceX and Boeing are free to use what they've built themselves on anything else. It doesn't have to be a NASA mission.
Right.
Capitalism.
Right.
Right.
It works better.
It works
Open
way
markets
better.
work better.
Mm-hmm.
I think I figured out. I think I figured out, Steve-O, that now anytime we talk about SpaceX or NASA, I'm just gonna ask questions as Alex Jones.
I like it.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Totally down.
That's
Seems
if
appropriate.
if my vocal cords hold out, that's what.
You got that guttural tone going.
Does it sound okay?
It sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds
Yeah.
like you're ready to accuse Democrats of something.
The only thing that you're going to have to do is that where he's so heavy, you have that breathing thing. So you're going to have to you're going to have to do that gravelly voice and then,
Yeah.
Have you all seen the Alex Jones rants turned into an indie song
Yes.
video?
Oh yeah, that was huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
You guys know what time it is. Is anybody watching the clock?
It's about time. It's
11:23.
Yeah, it's all
We
my
gotta get
fault,
you outta
everybody.
here.
It's all my
We gotta
fault.
get him out of here.
Yeah, I got.
I just want to
Oh.
say too, real quick. I want to say that I have not heard enough of Mr. Beefy this episode, and I gotta
True.
say, Mr. Beefy, you could tell Jerry to go fuck himself.
Jerry, you can go fuck yourself. I was so
Because-
goddamn bored listening to that voicemail of all you're saying is hunting's pretty cool. Watching the forest exist without people in it, just people or animals minding their own business. That's pretty cool. The urge to have an erection when you're watching a turkey. That's pretty cool. Conservation, wildlife conservation is very important because somebody's got to keep the animals in check because this is our planet.
Let's be clear.
And don't be so pissed off at Dennis wanting to shoot rhinos in Africa because somebody's going to shoot them anyway. Might as well make a buck while you're doing it and spend it on the rhino. Summed up your 8-minute voicemail in 30 seconds. You're welcome. At least when I say something, I get to the fucking point.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that was perfect.
Love
oh,
you,
my
Jerry.
God. That's exactly what I wanted. I mean, it was beyond what I wanted. It was, yeah. Brad was ready.
Glad to Oh, I've been
Brad's
staring
been
at it for a
stewing.
while. Like,
He's been
Yeah.
stewing for half an hour.
the one time I get up to go to the bathroom, like, well, this is going to be another 6 minutes. come back and you actually say something about me, better check yourself.
Oh, oh, there's a feud beginning. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess so. It's like how rappers have problems with Eminem, and Eminem doesn't care.
Eminem doesn't care. He just wants to shout about Trump and have somebody listen to him.
Speaking of rappers, I'm about to spout some beautiful rhymes.
All right.
It's time.
All right.
Do they
Let's
even
hear-
rhyme?
Are they they're actually going to be rhymes? You going to rap? You going to rap for us,
No,
ma'am?
no. I would. You know, it is my goal that one of my poems one day will be completely rhyming. I want you to know that. Today is not that day. Today we have ornamental ice cream sandwich. This feels fake. There's a distinct difference between batches. It's not like what I remember. Who wrote these rhymes? Ask good questions. The wooden nickel won't expand too much. Breakaway entities can only experience a video of the crime from the same angle as the hunters who want the animals to succeed. The focus is to know that it works, how it's being done now. The best learning has its own weather, a fixed price, a blood price. Might as well make a buck while you're doing it.
Nice.
Becca,
That's great.
that was the most
Fire.
that was the most trans poem you've ever done. Can you read it again? Did anybody else have this thought? Listen to this through the lens of Superman and trans issues. Think about trans issues as she reads this poem.
Now read it like a man.
Yeah, do a Vila DeMilo voice.
I can't. How many times have you told me to do a voice and I just say that I can't do it? Because
Say it like this.
No.
Say it like you're a man.
I can't do that.
Say it in your best Irish Jamaican voice.
No.
Say it like you're trying to give a turkey a boner.
Can I just say it like I would say it?
Yeah, just everybody think about trans issues now. This is very powerful. It's very powerful.
This feels fake.
Yep.
You say think about trans issues. He gets
Trans
one
issues.
word out. We all bust out laughing. That's what just happened.
Shall I go on?
Yeah.
Shall I go on?
There's a distinct difference between batches. It's not like what I remember. Who wrote these rhymes? Ask good questions. The wooden nickel won't expand too much. Breakaway entities can only experience a video of the crime from the same angle as the hunters who want the animals to succeed. The focus is to know that it works, how it's being done now. The best learning has its own weather, a fixed price, a blood price. Might as well make a buck while you're doing it.
No, that deserves some triggering claps. All triggering on this one. Beautiful. Absolutely incredible.
Well, that changed the whole thing. I mean, it was it's transmorphied. Yeah,
Becca's making
Transmogrified.
poems great again.
All right, everybody, remember, you really want to watch this stream live. You want to get in that comment box. Mixer.com/Verbal Assault Podcast. You can find us on Twitter if we'd get active on there. Twitter.com/_Verbal Assault_. Show some support. Patreon.com/Verbal Assault. Is there any other possible way to get a hold of us, Brad?
865
Oh, my favorite. Yeah.
316 69, 55,
Mm.
all that shit. A little bit of Willy Wonka and Bit Connect guy. That's what that is.
Thank you to Haywood
I
Banks
love
for our theme song. Thank you, everyone, for a great podcast.
Thank you.
Maybe I've heard perhaps next week we'll have special guest Patrick back on the podcast.
He'll be back from his world tour by then.
Yeah. He's been demoted to special guests.
Dave, you have anything to say?
I do, sis.